video because the race is already almost underway. We didn't get enough of a gap there. And away from the grid they go. Lindau with a good start, but even better start is Donadine, and Xenatos is left somewhat on the grid.
Yeah, Dermodine takes the lead from Venados, and then there's Lindau just sliding in behind these guys. We saw somebody who's saying just stalled on the grid. That is certainly unfortunate. I believe it's going to be, Zelda's down to 21st, so very unfortunate for you. Him and Lindauer gets hit wide. I believe that was Xerxes even that goes through. He lets Lindauer back, so that's a very gentlemanly thing to do considering what is at stake here. But we have Dermodine takes the lead decisively from Venados there, and now these guys are going to have to chase the leader as Germany opened up a pretty nice gap, but Lindau is under heavy pressure here from the Shergleys here in 4th position. We have Damon there in 5th, seems to make a good start off the grid. Now behind Shergleys here, fighting to stay within the top 5. These guys are kind of spread out. This is much cleaner, I would say, from the start, except maybe that a slight moment that Lindauer had. But so far, these guys have found themselves into position, and we'll see how this thing continues.
Yeah, big losers on that opening lap though were Zelda, Sansoni and Kinzer. Remember, they were around about the same position on the grid. I think maybe it was Sansoni that stalled on the grid, and maybe that caused the issue for Zelda and for Kinzer. But they're at the back of the field at the moment. Zelda's back up to 17th place already, but Sansoni and Kinzer are still last and second last at the moment. And Holock is down there also as well. Again, another driver who plays well in his quarterfinal. Of course, the quarterfinal we talked about earlier, but Donadine, 1.5 second lead at the end of the first lap. Xenatos has got a bit of nerves in him because he's not been fast in his opening lap. And now, what we're looking at now is Matsick. He's back here. This is him battling with Holock, and Zelda's just gone ahead of it. Oh, we've got a spinner there as well. Who was that? That was Sarkani. Sarkani, the Hungarian driver, is now disappearing down. Now you can see in the background there reversing out of the way. So that is not good news for Hungary. But Gigi from the back of the grid is up to 14.
Yeah, I just a ton of drivers going up and down the field. I just jumped to Metzik very quickly because he qualified like around 7th, 8th, and he fell back all the way to 16th there. I think he had some sort of slide.
I think it was Sansoni stalled on the grid. I think it was that because all the people kind of in his row, in his column, have all gone back down the grid.
Yeah, and now we're seeing the man who's capitalizing on all these mistakes, Mr. Gigi, up to 14th, and now within a shot of that top 12 spot.
Whoa, slow it down there.
You can just tell these guys are just 100% on it at present. Maybe not quite adjusted to full race fuel at present. You really don't want to go wide there because racing will give you that slowdown penalty, which will absolutely kill you. Up at the front, pretty much status quo. Germany from Zanatos, then Lindau, and Shergley here in 4th position. Shergley seems to be quicker than Lindau and up at the front, but just can't seem to get this run. And this first corner is so fast, not really a spot you want to try and overtake. And yeah, he is just destroying a little Lindau on pace, I would say. Lindau just can't quite get any type of gap. But at this point, it's just really hard to kind of pick your spot through the second sector. Most of these drivers are just struggling to kind of hold on to these DTM machines, and making an overtake one of these is just almost too tall an order for many drivers, including the ones here today.
Just keep up the pressure though. I mean, other drivers who've lost out there is Bogart. I mean, he qualified quite high up, but I mean, Yanenko was benefiting from that. Schwarzman was benefiting from that opening lap. So was Pluderman. So these drivers who qualified fairly way down, they've all gained 4 or 5 positions. So you either have lost 4 or 5 positions, or you've gained 4 or 5 positions around the field. It seems right now. Yeah, interesting to see that sort itself out. Sorry.
Yeah, despite the top drivers kind of holding serve there, the guys through 6 all the way down to even the last man in the field, just shuffling around musical chairs pretty much in this opening 5 minutes. I was curious to see how these guys were going to handle the nerves, handle the situation, and despite maybe the top 4, it seems like these other guys are just kind of struggling to kind of come to grips with what's at stake here. It is interesting that maybe some of the guys that finished or qualified outside the top 12 have really done well to kind of just capitalize on these mistakes. But I'm not quite sure they're going to have the pace to kind of hold on to this throughout the duration of the race.
Yeah, I was thinking here there was a sort of change of visions here with Hiringer and Schwarzman, but actually it's not the case. Just a small time glitch for us. But in 12th spot right now is Baumgartl. He qualified in 6th. So he'll be looking to move forward, I think, here, rather than hold on to that 12th position. The people are really looking to hold on to try and keep around this area. People like Endres and Gigi and Matzik just in the background. You've got Penquit and Tied, sorry. This is Feb and Tied. So I said Tim and all at once there. Feb and Tied are all battling quite heavily
Zanatos,
here.
we have an issue. He's falling through the field. He's down to 6. Maybe he had an off track or something of that nature, or maybe there's even damage to that car because he's continuing to lose position. What is going on here? All the way down to 10th, and
was that a slowdown perhaps? Slowdown penalty perhaps, yeah, because he continued to be slow, right? So, wow, back to 10 spots, and as we were talking about it, it's just a hot lap, he can't race. Maybe this is the case.
And this just makes zero sense to me. You're running in 2nd position. Job is done. We all see you have pace to pretty much John Heinemann next weekend if you just make the finals. And now he's putting himself in a very dicey situation where if one more thing goes wrong for Zanatos, he's going to be in potential danger to miss the finals next weekend when he just seemed to have brilliant pace today. But we'll see how he can kind of carry on here. He's got a nice little gap to deal with before he's even has to think about 13th position, as that is 7 seconds back of him, as Lindauer is now in 2nd position, inherits that from Zanatos' off track. Still has to deal with Zerglis here tucked in behind him. And now at this point, I'm not even sure how beneficial a spot this is for Lindauer. He can't get any type of gap to Zerglis. Certainly the pride of racing kind of plays a factor here, but it almost makes no sense to kind of fight for this position like this. Zerglis in behind him, like as quickly as he is, at some point might become some type of a hindrance or problem for Lindauer if he wants to really just survive this race and just get to the finals.
Yeah, and I mean, I am very curious to see how Zanatos deals with this situation. He's making small mistakes there. Also, he's lost a gap to the guys ahead of him. He's activating the DRS, but the guys ahead of him have also got the DRS as well. Looks like Pruden was going to make a move here, and then also as well. No, not quite. Couldn't quite get alongside Tied there. So I'm curious. Oh, he's got it inside this time though. Oh, Tied. I don't know what happened there to Tied, but he went wide, and Pluderman, thank you very much. I'll take that position. So Pluderman up to 9th. We've still got Zanatos in 11th. Wasn't he 10th after that as well? Hasn't he lost another position?
He was. He actually lost 3 seconds to 13th position, which is Endres at present. And so he lost a lot of time. This was more than being overtaken or something like that. He made another mistake, lost another spot, and now he's trying to scrap back to get around Tied, and he does. Puts on the DRS obviously to kind of get that move done before even hitting turn 15. Tied's going to try around the outside. Zanatos holds position, but this is not a good spot you want to be in. He's only got now 5 seconds now to 13th position as Endres made another mistake. But at this point, Ryan, that leash is getting incredibly short because it's one thing to make a mistake when you're 3rd. It's another to make it when you're in 10th position and you're floating around that 12th position. And like I said, one more thing goes wrong for Zanatos, and then see you later, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we did mention in the practice session, what is this guy? Where's his pace come from? He didn't have the pace in the quarterfinal. He came 5th spot, So clearly he has problems with consistency. He can put a lap together, that's sure. He has the raw speed, but Georgios at the moment not able to translate that into consistency and able to win these races. It's a half-hour race, so you're doing at least 17 laps around here with the lap time that we've got. But Dunedin, he is able to translate that into races. Has a quarterfinal race win, and now has an almost 8-second lead on the field already. Now we're not even a third of the way through the race.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have the killer instinct as Dermodine. So many drivers, at least 3 drivers inherited the lead in yesterday's semifinal, but all of them gave it away at some point. Dermodine seems to have snatched it right off the line, and he is not looking back. I mean,
that's a literal Sunday drive for him.
And this is what you have to do. There's no reason to push too hard, even though it seems like Dermodine is really getting 10/10ths from that Audi DTM there, because like you're saying, he's opened up a 9-second gap now to Zerglis, who has overtaken Lindau for 2nd position. So, but Lindau is trying to come right back in sector 2, and now this is what I don't understand for Lindauer, because clearly Jericles is the quicker of the two. Lindauer probably really shouldn't be going for another overtake around him, especially now we have Damon coming in, trying to stream up to these guys, just get into that slipstream to get some type of ability to kind of cut that gap. But so far, Lindauer, I think he's okay if he just holds in second position, as now here is the man of the hour so far. Zanatos made it up now to 9th position, so it seems like his pace is going to save him when all things are said and done. Seems to be just too quick for these guys to kind of deal with at this part of the field. And so far, if he just doesn't make a mistake, this guy's a lock for the finals next week. But we'll see.
He's a ticking time bomb as far as mistakes go, surely. You know, when is the next mistake coming? Was it 10 minutes? 15 minutes? You know, he's going to make sure he doesn't make another one. Nice, consistent rest of the race. No spectacular. No heroics. Nothing spectacular. That's what I'm trying to say. And we've got Schwartzman has gone ahead of Damon, who's Damon's lagging all over the place and is taken out. Schwartzman, no, he hasn't. Oh no, it's, no, we're not going to watch that battle, unfortunately. Schwartzman and Damon obviously having issues with their connections there, but we'll move along from that. And Paringa also as well. We're still watching Schwartzman for some reason. Let's get off that. Here we go. Here's Paringa. So Paringa always got Emelianenko for close company. And like we said also in qualifying, Emelianenko does race better than he qualifies.
Yeah, well, I think he qualified 12th. He was 17th at one point. Managed to kind of squeeze out a 12th position in that Q session. And now he's capitalized on every mistake from the drivers out in front. Is up to 7th position. And considering that he's only moving up the field, doesn't seem to be the driver to make those mistakes. It seems like the job is done for him. He probably knows where he's at, knows he's got a nice gap to 13th and can just kind of cruise around. And now here is David Zelda. We highlighted him at the top of the show only because we noticed that he is running potentially a gamepad. Didn't fare well off the start. Not really sure if that was his own doing or not, but has not recovered from falling to the back of the grid.
He did recover at one point. He was 15th, I think, at one point, but now he's way off the back of the grid now. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to him, but it has not been a happy afternoon. We talked about it, didn't we, Dan? We said it's very hard to be consistent. You can be quick over one lap, but it's very hard to be consistent on a gamepad, simply because of the the short range of angles you've got to work with on thumbsticks and with triggers. So I think it's what's happened here, really.
We saw in yesterday's semifinal, Dirk Notts fell to 20th right off the get-go, just fought back, almost made it inside the top 12. David Zelda, I was kind of curious to see if he was going to do something similar to that. You highlighted him going up to 15th at one point, but certainly that last mistake really puts him in a bind with only 17 minutes left in this event.
Well, Zenatos, look here, he's in 9th spot, but he's just been under challenge here from Gludeman, so he's going backwards again. He's made a small mistake at some point and fallen back from the rear of Penkveld. So clearly making another mistake, Zenatos, not quite as big as he made mistake. So his mistakes are getting smaller, Danny. He made a big mistake at the start, then a small mistake later, and then a small mistake again. So maybe by the end of the race, his mistakes will be existing at all.
Here's the problem if you're Zenatos, is that he lost something like 17 seconds, pretty much, or maybe let's say 10 seconds on his first mistake to send him back down to 11th spot. And now he's only got 5 seconds to Andres there in 13th position, and that is going to be the cutoff. So if he makes another one of these mistakes, Ryan, it is fair to assume that he can be knocked out that top 12, which is disastrous if you're a driver with Zenatos's abilities, his pace. So that is definitely something that, despite him seeming to calm down, it could all go wrong still if you're Zenatos there in 8th position.
Tied almost threw away 12th position there. Sorry to interrupt, Danny, but this is a crucial position right now. Tied there ahead of Endres is in 12th spot. We've got two of the Cintium Patronus Mercedes ahead here of Endres, and Endres has got the DRS now as well, going to pass him as a result of that mistake.
Awesome job
here. It's going to go.
Yeah, awesome job if you're Endres there.
Oh, he's gone deep, No! And Kirsten's going to take Danny talking too soon.
Talking too soon, carried too much speed, got had the DRS, and now he's on threat of losing this 13th position. Here is Simone down the inside. No, he thinks better of it. That first corner is really hard to overtake. Here's Andres trying to take a look down the inside. No, Tia is going to sit there and cut him off. Well, not cut him off, just hold the line. And Andres is going to have to sit here, go around another lap, pretty much wait for this back straightaway to come back up. I haven't been impressed from Andres up to this point because he has not lost time to the cars in front at all. It just seems to be creeping and creeping, gaining little bit by little bit as laps go on. But once he got to that critical moment of getting that overtake done on 12th position, he just overcooked it a little bit. Now he's going to have to look for another spot to get inside that top 12.
Yeah, and Emelianenko has now come past Paringo as well. He might already been past him, I think, but he's still up in that 6th spot. We've got Sansoni in behind this battle. Remember, Sansoni qualified towards the critical, he qualified in 5th or 4th spot. So he's got the pace as well. But at the moment, he seems to be having some network issues. So we're seeing him lag around a little bit. So it's difficult for us to watch that Sansoni come through the field right now, as much as we'd like to show it. Schwarzman and Damon are also in this battle, but Schwarz is also having some network issues as well. So it's difficult to watch those battles right now. Thankfully, the battles that aren't involving such moving around cars. And Endress with the DRS once again. It is deja vu this time. Can he make it stick? Surely he will. Surely he'll learn. And he does he learn? Where is Tied? There he is. He's been overtaken by Sansoni. Sansoni gained 2 spots on that one move.
Yeah, Endress definitely takes it. He definitely, learns a little bit from his first overtaking maneuver, but I think he just couldn't get the traction out of the corner that time, and Sansoni just goes right around.
Poor Tied. He's dropped a 5er and picked up 6 moves. Look at this. He's come back from 12th to 15th in one corner.
See, I believe Tied was in a bit of trouble anyway, because it seemed like there's just too many quick drivers that were outside the top 12, as it were, and Tied was he just wasn't really going to realistically hold on to the spot with the pace he was able to produce from lap to lap. 13 minutes, that's a tall order for him to kind of hold off drivers like Simone, like you were saying, that qualified inside the top 5. Thomas Kinsa was a quick driver. He's still only 16th. And then, of course, Endress was right around Tied, just trying to get through lap after lap. So if Tied is going to make this, it's going to be a tall order for the German to see if he can kind of get himself from 15th back up to the top 12, but especially now he's got Thomas Kinsa, who is pretty quick driving his own right, closing him down for that 15th position.
I think Kinsa won his quarterfinal 4. Qualified, I think, in 10th position for this race. I expected him to come to the field a bit quicker than this. I mean, he was at the back of the field after that, those opening laps, whatever happened back there. But he wasn't off the back of the field by this much. So he's taken his time coming through. He's still got 12 minutes to go, of course. We've still got more than a third of this race to go. Cheliers in 2nd spot hasn't lost so much time to Donadine than Lindauer was. So Cheliers is not too far off Donadine's time at the moment. And Schwarzman is one of the ones who's lagging around. So we've got Emelianenko in 6th spot, still holding that position. But Kinsa is driving right up to the back of Fairman Tied at the moment. And this could be another position loss for poor Fairman.
Yeah, this is just kind of going the wrong way for Tied. He seemed to just inherently lost because a lot of drivers had issues in this opening 5 minutes, I would say, and now it's kind of coming back to the natural order, I would say. And yeah, Kinsa's just going to go, he just goes right up to Tied in the end of sector 2. He's going to be under massive threat going down the back straightaway into turn 15. So I'll be really surprised if he holds on to this 15th spot after this lap here. But you're seeing this 3-car train for
Sansoni's back to 14th. Yeah,
Endress takes this 12th position. So, and Metzik all of a sudden gets himself right into this fight for the top 12 as well. So could definitely go 3 ways. And this is where, if you're Thomas Kinsa, you have to get into that train for that 12th position. You got to get around Tied there for 15th and get yourself at least latch on to Simone for 14th as well, because look at how quickly he's able to close the gap with the DRS. Gets him on the inside, side by side, over the curb. Thomas Kinsa is going to take that 15th position, exactly what he needed to do there. Now he's got time to latch onto this train for 12th position.
He has. He's got Sansone ahead of him. I don't know who Simone is, but he's not in this race. Sansone is in 13th spot. Has now gone past. Oh, we had a slow down visit penalty for Endress. Just as we were praising him, from 12th to 15th. So a slow down penalty for Endress, and he's gone from 12th to 15th. Through goes Kinsa, and obviously through also as well has gone Matzik and Sansone. This is a very interesting battle for that 12th spot. To tell you right now, we've got 5 drivers trying to compete for that final spot in the final.
really feel bad for Andres there. Like you were saying, he was a guy that just didn't really put a foot wrong, pretty much, except maybe for a few failed overtaking attempts on Tia there. Now who's right in behind him, but to lose out like that when you had 12th position, very unfortunate for him. Here's Zanatos there, who was in 9th position, came up to 8th, and now he's challenging for this 7th position for Ralph Coringa. There, and I think he's pretty much going to get this coming down the back straightaway. He's got the DRS in there, but down the inside, this is pretty much the classic overtaking maneuver which you've seen here from not only yesterday's events, but today's as well. And Zanatos is going to have that. A cut back here for Coringa. Side by side, this is never going to work after the first corner. Somebody is going to have to take the initiative. And there's the contact. Coringa sideways, Zanatos sideways. It's all go wrong for the Greek. He's got to get back in line now. He's down to 12th position. Coringa goes through. He's now got this train for 12 coming up behind him. And this is what we talked about, Ryan. If one more mistake for the Greek, and it could all go belly up for his finals appearance next week. He so far has kind of recovered, but now he's got the look straight in the eye of this 12th position, closing the gap to him.
As I've got to say, based on what I've seen of Zanatos' driving and racing, as soon as I saw them go side by side into the first corner, I knew what would happen. You know, there's going to be contact. Zanatos is not going to give it up. He seems like a very headstrong driver, maybe not race savvy, and headed that first corner. As soon as I saw them side by side, going to be contact. Boom, happened. Zanatos has now is his worst enemy. He's incredibly quick. He could have had that 7th position. In fact, he passed him. Should have made the pass. Should really have given Pluderman a chance to get back up the inside, but committed himself too much to the inside. Gave Pluderman the cutback, and then challenged him foolishly to that first corner. He's on the outside, had no overlap whatsoever. Should have given up position and fought again later, but instead he's spun out. There's more carnage ahead of him. Paul Pluderman's now under pressure from Penquit as well. If we just hop on to watch that also. Here we are. We've got Penquit and we've got Baumgartel as well. And Baumgartel is going to go ahead of Pluderman. No, he's not. No, he's not. So Baumgartel slots in behind Pluderman now. So this battle for 7th spot is heating up. And of course, Zanatos' spin has made the battle for 12th spot even more hectic. Matzik has his eyes on that 11th spot right now, and he's just heading up this train of cars behind him. We still have Tied and Sansoni battling very hard, but look what's happened actually, Daniel. Just talking about that, look what's happened. Look how far off Endres is off the back of Matzik. The gap is 5 seconds. Something has happened here.
I was just about to make the point that Matzik is pretty much put that 12th position on lockdown. Don't know what happened to Endres. He's got Kinsa still in
It's happened to all of them though. All 4 of these drivers have dropped 5 seconds back from Matzik. All in one fell swoop. How has that happened?
You're seeing Kinsa actually fell back from 14th all the way down to 16th again. So maybe it's an off moment. We're seeing that Sansoni is having some issues with lag. Maybe that kind of factor into a group type of mistake or something of that nature, but it certainly benefits this man right here, Zanatos, who is now still battling with Ralph Coringa, which he had the contact with that sent him spiraling down the field to begin with. So certainly these two might not be too far of each other at present, as Zanatos is back on the DRS. He's probably going to try to go through Coringa, probably inclined to make this a little more easy for the Greek, seeing just how hard Zanatos is going to fight for this kind of thing. And yeah, that move is pretty much done. Let's see if Coringa is going to have some type of cutback. He doesn't. Just slides back in, thinks better of it. I think this is the smart move. He's just going to let Matzik and company just go in tow behind these guys. And yeah, these guys can just, avoid incidents. They're inside the top 12 because only 6 minutes at this point, Ryan.
Yeah, not long to go at all. And Penquit is battling hard here with Pluderman and Baumgartel. I think I said earlier that Zanatos came in contact with Pluderman. Of course, it was Coringa, and they're both now in 10th and 11th spot. Coringa span, but of course Zanatos span as well. It's nice that Zanatos didn't immediately spin the car and try and recover it as well. He was waiting until the drivers went past it and then recovered, which obviously showed a bit of maturity there, because lots of people would just gas it up and immediately drove back into the pack. So that's so many times in sim racing. Because you've got no fear of killing yourself before you get on with it. But it was nice to see that Zanatos didn't do that. But Owen Worth's at the moment, Zanatos. He has incredible pace. He has Heinemann pace, quite frankly, and does not have the Heinemann consistency.
Yeah, now Zanatos certainly has respect for his fellow drivers.
Sorry to interrupt that. Look who's back ahead of Shirley S. Hello, Mr. Lindauer.
The man that I maybe took too much of a run at earlier, maybe not being quick enough to compete with Sherglees, certainly now has the better of the German. Is now holding second position. Sherglees seems to be kind of taking an interesting line. These two drivers are on divergent lines, and their battle is completely raging. They are fighting for the second position pretty much tooth and nail. And this is the type of fighting I expected to see, or I expect to see next week at Hockenheim. But it seems like some of these guys are kind of really have their mindset on doing the very best they can here in this semifinal. Even though once you're in the top 12, it doesn't so much matter exactly where you finish as long as you qualify for the finals.
Yeah, but they're very safe right now. They've got a big 30-second gap back to 12 spots, so they can go in it hammer and tong, I'm pretty sure. I think Sherglees must have made a mistake at some point, because these two drivers are now 17 seconds behind Donadine. It was around about 10, 11 seconds before, so Sherglees perhaps had a slowdown penalty or a small spin. So, it's, they're fighting for the second and third spot here. Obviously, Sherglees was pushing as hard as he could to try and put Donadine under pressure, but Donadine has been imperious in this race, Danny. Absolutely unchallenged. Took the lead off the start, had the correct start to the race, had a 1.5 second lead after the first lap, and he's just cruised around. He's not cruised around, he's gone faster than anybody else, but he has been very comfortable out here today, and a very impressive performance. Maybe you just have to drive a red Audi.
Maybe I should just drive a red Audi. Seems to be very one of the top 3 quickest drivers, only second to Zanatos there, only a 10th off him, or half a 10th at that. But yeah, I'm just so impressed by this driver, maintaining this superior pace while not making any mistakes. So this is certainly somebody that can contend for a win. I fully believe that now, going into Hockenheim. This seems to be a driver that has so much ability to just not make mistakes. Sometimes that's just what some racing comes down to. And that driver seems to have that in spades. That's we're seeing Metzek continuing to hamper Paringa there in the 11th position. Still has a 4-second gap to 13 Sansone, who has gotten around. Actually, no, Sansone, Endress was holding 13th, now down to 16th. So it seems to all have gone belly up for Endress. Potentially his run here in the DTM Winter Cup will come to an end unless he can make a spectacular comeback. It's only 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, he's got a big gap to Matzik. 14 seconds up to Matzik currently, so that's a huge gap to make up. And Endress was one of the beneficiaries just a few laps ago, and then suddenly the fortunes have changed for poor Michael. So looks like he won't be seeing him in the final next week. But Zanetos and Pluderman are in a hard battle right now as well. They just swapped positions quickly, but Pluderman's just held that position around the outside, I think it was, in that second sector, and that second sector now onto that back straight. Zanetos not using DRS at the moment. Nobody knows if there is an actual DRS because he's not using it at all.
Could have sworn that he tried it with the overtake did on Paringo. Maybe that was simply the...
No, he didn't light up. Maybe it's not working for him, perhaps, the actual light up thing on the standing. But that was a nice line from Pluderman. Just gave lots of space to Zanetos and still kept on the track just about.
See, I wonder if this fellow competitors realize maybe that Zanatos has made that fall down the field, and that maybe he is a little bit aggressive, if you will, in that, Pluderman's just realized my job's done. I don't really need to deal with this. So he seems to be very gentlemanly in giving Zanatos a lot of space here. So
yeah, he was very afraid of a move down the inside there. I think he was making sure that he wasn't going to be involved, because he was going to be a kamikaze move.
Yeah, and again, that's just smart driving. I mean, if this was the finals, then all bets are off. It's time to kind of go racing, if you will. And there is Zanetos going wide, lose position to his rival. Actually, no, it wasn't a Paringa that went through. It was Penquet.
Yeah. So and he the Red Bull Audi, so they're and they both got these initials RP as well. So it's
yeah.
No, they're almost brothers. Oh, Matzik's going ahead of the other RP. Matzik's going to head up now to 11th spot. So Matzik not satisfied with just holding that 12th spot. He wanted to get into 11th as well. So it's Paringa now on the bubble. 1 minute to go. There should... I think this... I can't tell if there's a final lap or not. I think there may be one more lap after this. Certainly for these guys, a lap after this, but I think there may be 2 laps after this for these guys. I think Donadine will cross the line with like a few seconds to spare and will start another lap in this race. So got a couple more laps to go here, a couple more laps of excitement.
Yeah, Paringa now has got 7 seconds to Thomas Kinsa, who does take the 13th position away
I'm
from
not sure what's been
Sansone.
happening with
So.
those guys. I think Sansoni has caused all kinds of problems with his lag. Because Kinsa, Sansoni, Tierra, and Endress have just been all kinds of gaps and different gaps have appeared and positions swapped and all kinds of stuff. So it's not gone well for those guys down there. Maybe Sansoni's lag has not helped them at all. But not Sansoni's fault, of course. He just has a race what he can do. It's not nothing he can do about that. He obviously wouldn't want to have lag himself, and it's obviously harmed his chance of getting that 12th spot. But remember, he qualified well inside the top 5, I'm pretty sure. So he will be pretty gutted about what's happened here today for him.
Well, you look at Sansone's pace, and he's 30.2 is his fastest lap time. That's pretty much a top 5, a top 8 time around there. So he's certainly quicker than the drivers around him. So that can cause massive issues if he's lagging in front of you, makes an overtake, and then he lags because he lags behind you. Who knows? And so it can cause just massive issues. So certainly that has happened.
Another position loss for Zenitos. Zenitos he'll be on the bubble at this race by the end of this race. Oh,
and it's just there's simply no need. These guys pretty much just throw it around in neutral, if you will.
And Donadine's won, by the way. I do apologise. Donadine didn't cross the line for the lap. Donadine has won. I think he slowed down at the end just to make sure there's no other laps. But Donadine has won this race. It's been an imperious result from him. He's been fantastic.
Certainly has shown himself to be like a contender to Tim Heinemann. So
I can't tell if he's actually I can't tell if he's won the race or not. Quite frankly, it hasn't told me right now.
I think we might actually have one more lap. Even the race time is still going. So
yes, it is still going, isn't it? Yeah. So this is the last lap. I do apologise. I'm talking absolute rubbish. Oh no, it wasn't.
Well, maybe not.
No, it wasn't the end. No, it wasn't. Timer was for the end of the race time to make sure people cross the line. But Zenitos, he gets the job done. He gets fastest lap of the race, and pole position by a country mile, and he only scrapes in to the final. But the top 12, Donadine, Juliet, Lindauer, Damage, Fartsman, Emelianenko, Baumgartel, Pluderman, Matzik, Penkett, and Zenitos and Paringa will all go through to the final next week. And that was a very interesting semi-final once again, Danny.
Very interesting indeed. I am disappointed that Thomas Kinsa doesn't make it. Sansone, if he just had a better connection, he goes pretty easily. And Michael Andres, really disappointed that he couldn't kind of be the dark horse, the Cinderella story to kind of get into the finals. But a very interesting finals indeed. We have true contenders, I believe, to Heinemann and Dermodine especially, and then at least Zanatos on pace. So it's going to be interesting finals next weekend, Brian. I see that Mr. Heinemann's going to have his work cut out for him. I am curious to see what Moritz Lerner could do and some of the other top drivers from yesterday's split as well. So
I think what the problem is with Heinemann, not a problem for Heinemann, of course, is that he has Zenitos' pace, or Zenitos has his pace. We want to look at it. He's got Zenitos' pace, right, but with the consistency of Donadine. Now, who can compete with that?
That's the question. That's the question.
And Heinemann, the only way I think Heinemann can be beaten here is he makes his own mistake. He's got the pace and the consistency over the rest of the field.
Well,
he has no weaknesses there.
This track at Moscow was interesting in respect to the second sector. A lot of drivers went wide, got a cutting penalty. Not quite sure how that's going to play a factor at Hockenheim, if there's going to be that much of an issue with that track. I can't really think of a spot that's like that. Maybe the first corner, but
definitely the first corner. Yeah, I would say definitely.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of corners in the back as well. I would say where maybe around the Mercedes Arena section.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe the I don't know how much the hairpin will be censored, but on the outside of the hairpin, perhaps when you're racing, you get pushed out wide, you get a cutting penalty, as it were. So that could be one of the things that happens. But it's going to be very intriguing. But congratulations to the top 12, Danny, because they've worked hard to get here. They've gone through 6 rounds of time attack. They come through a quarterfinal, they come through a semi-final. So the top 24 now go through to next weekend's race, which again, we will be broadcasting live for you guys. So make sure you get that on your calendar. We're really looking forward to that. And if you liked our broadcast as well, we like doing broadcasts. You can like us on facebook.com/Touring Pro Series. We run our own leagues also as well. We also obviously we do these broadcasts almost as a favour, but obviously just to help out Sector 3 because we love their game. Their game is excellent, don't you think, Danny?
I think they have probably, them and iRacing, they have the best car models there are in sim racing. Just watching the cars go around the track, it looks so realistic, I watching...
And the sound, Danny.
The sound, the physics. Listen, you know me. I care about what the cars look like for one. and RaceRoom, not only with the DTM but the WTCC, everything I've seen from them, it's pretty much been class. So it's great just to sit here and watch as a fan. So I don't mind doing the commentary.
So Danny, so that's it from Danny Superficial Asbury and from Ryan Sarcastic Callum. We'll see you next week for the final. Really looking forward to that. We've seen some great stories, and hopefully we can iron out a few of those bugs that drivers have got with their consistency or their pace or whatever, and we'll be raring to go at Hockenheim for and remember, it's the top 3 get prizes as well, so it's not just about the winner, not just about Heinemann. The top 3 get to go, so it will be a very fierce battle indeed. So I will play that video now that we tried to play before, in between the qualifying session. I tried to squeeze in, I didn't manage to squeeze in, but we'll catch you next week, and thank you for Danny as well.
Yep, it was great doing this, and we'll see you guys next week.